Hi, this is Anil from LearningLad and welcome to another video on C programming language. In this video, we will talk about using the range in the switch statement. Now in this tutorial, first I'm going to talk about the basics of the switch statement, and then I'm going to explain about using the range in the switch statement. And if you're watching this video just to learn about using the range in the switch statement, then I'm going to put the timestamp for that part of this video in the description box. You guys can click on that and watch that particular section. So here, now we can start by talking a bit about the basics of using the switch statement. Now I have already written a simple program here. We have a variable x of type integer and we have stored a value of 10 in that variable x. And then we have the switch statement, and in the switch expression part we have the variable x, and then we have a couple of switch cases with the values 10 and 20, and we have the printf statements in these case values, and then we have a default case. Now here, if I save this program and build and run this program, then we get the case 10 as the output. That's because the x is containing a value of 10, and in this switch statement the case 10 will match because x is containing 10 and this case 10 is gonna match with that. So the statements inside this case 10 will be executed, and that is this printf statement which prints case 10, and then we have the break statement so that we come out of this switch statement. Now here, if I change the value, let's say to 30, and if I build and run this program again, this time it will say default case. That's because x is containing a value of 30 and none of the case values are matching with that, and that's why the default part will be executed. And here, we don't need this break statement for the default part because this is the last part of the switch statement. If we use it or if we skip that, then after executing this statement, the control will obviously come out of this switch. So we don't need to use the break statement here. Now talking about this video, here the case values are a constant values. For example, this 10 is a constant value, 20 is a constant value. These values here in this case value part, we can't write an expression. Now if you want to execute same set of statements for different case values, one option that is available to you is write that code again and again. For example, if you want to execute this set of statements for another case value, for example case 100, then you can copy that and paste it like this, and this time the program will run properly. Now the problem with this approach is you are going to duplicate the code a lot of times, and right now we are writing a very simple small program, but when you're going to be working on the projects, your program will be larger, and that is not the solution for executing same set of statements for different case values. One thing you can do is you can write the case values together, and then you can specify the statements that you want to execute for all those case values, which is nothing but I can have the case 100 here, and similarly if I want, I can have case 1000 here, and then here what I'm doing is I'm writing all that case values for which I want to execute the same set of statements, and then I'm writing the statements that I want to execute. So what happens here is for the case value 10, for the case value 100, and for the case value 1000, this set of statement will be executed. And if you use this approach, or if you write like this, then you are not going to repeat the statements, repeat the code in your program. This is one way to execute same set of statements for different values in a switch statement. Now here, the case values you specified while writing like this did not to be in the ascending order or in any particular order. For example, you can have a case value of 5 here, it will work exactly fine. This is one way of executing same set of statements for different case values. But what if you want to execute same set of statements for a particular range of values. For example, what if you want to execute the same set of statements for, let's say, a value from 10 and 20. Now what you can do is you can write all those case values like this, the way that I'm doing here. For example, case 10, case 11, case 12, and similarly I can go up to case 20 here, and then I can here write the statement that I want to execute for all those case values. For example, here I can say %d is between 10 and 20. Here I have written only 3 values, 10, 11 and 12. To execute the same set of statements for the values from 10 to 20, I need to write from 10 to 20 here. Just for the demonstration purpose, I'm writing 3 values. This is one way we can write the case values in switch statement to execute a particular set of statements for a range of values. So here, if I change the value of this x variable to, let's say, 11, and here before running this program, in this printf statement, I need to refer the value of x here. Now if I save this program and build and run this, it will say 11 is between 10 and 20. So it is working, but what if your range increases? What if you want to execute the same set of statements for a range of values from 0 to 1000? So at that time, specifying the case values like this from 0 to 1000 is, of course you can do it, but it's not gonna be the best solution that you can have. So here what we can do is, instead of writing these case values like the way we need to do, what we can do is we can directly specify the range. Now this feature is supported at this moment in the GCC compiler, and I think most of the other compilers are not supporting this feature, but GCC supports this. And that feature is nothing but you can specify the range of values instead of a particular value in the case of the switch statement. So to use that, the syntax is, first you are going to write the keyword case, and then you leave a space, and then you write the lower part of that range, and then you leave a space, and then you add 3 dots, and then again you leave a space, and then you need to specify the upper part of that range. So here for this case, if I want to write the case for a range 0 to 1000, then what I can do is, first I need to write the keyword case, then a space, and then the lower part of the range, which is 0, because 0 to 1000, and then I need to leave a space, and then I need to add 3 dots, then again a space, and then I need to specify the upper part of the range. So here 1000, and then I need to add this colon, and then I can write the statements that I want to execute. And it is similar to the way we write the normal case values. So here this is the syntax. Now the spaces here are important, you can't skip them. And here for this program I will say %d is between 0 and 1000. And for the other cases, if you want, you can specify the constant value like 2000, or you can use the range like this. It is totally up to you, the way you want to program it. So here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save this program and I'm gonna build and run this. So build and run, and now you guys can see it says 11 is between 0 and 1000. So I'm gonna close this here, and if I change this one to, let's say, 2000, and if I build and run this, it will say case 2000, because this range of values are not matching with the x variables value, and that's why the second case is checked and it is matching. So the second case is executed here. Now here you need to follow some rules while using the range of values in the case values of the switch statement. And the first rule is the lowest value of the range cannot be higher than the highest value of the range. So here it means that you need to specify these values in the ascending order. You can't specify them in the descending order or in any other order. It needs to be in the ascending order. That is, the lowest part of the range of this case value should be less than the highest part of the range. So here, let's change this one to 1500. And now if I build and run this program, now you guys can see it says default case. Here, when we use the range in the case values of the switch, here the lowest value of this range is greater than the highest value of this range. So it considers it as an empty range. So it will not consider this statement. And that's why it checks for the other case values, and then here in this program none of the values are matching, and that's why it executes the default case. So here if I change this one to 1500, then also it will say the same thing. For example, if I build and run this, it says default case because it considers it as the empty range, since the lowest value of the range is greater than the highest value of the range. Actually, it does generates an warning message. If I open up the error logs here, you guys can see warning at the line number 6, empty range specified. But it ignores the warning, and here I have set this program to ignore the warning and run. So that's why it is ignoring the warning. So when you use the range of values for the case values of the switch statement, the lowest value of the range should be less than the highest value of the range. Otherwise, it will consider it as the empty range and it also generates a warning. So here, for this program to work properly, I need to specify from 1000 to 1500. So here I'm going to say 1000 to 1500, and now if I build and run this program, 1500 is between 1000 and 1500. So now it is working since the lowest value of the range is less than the highest value of the range here. Okay, now this is the one thing you have to remember, and another thing that you have to remember is you can't use the overlapping case values, which is nothing but when you use the range in the case values of the switch statement, you need to make sure that none of the other case values are going to fall within this range. For example, here I can't have 1400 in this case value. So here what happens is this first case value has a range which is from 1000 to 1500, and in the second value we have 1400. So for the value of 1400 we have two case matches, and that is not allowed, and that's why if I try to build and run this program, I'm gonna get the error here at this time. And if I open up the error logs, it says duplicate case values. You guys can see duplicate case value. So these are the two things that you have to keep in mind. One rule is while specifying the range, the lowest value of the range should be less than the highest value of the range, and that means that while specifying the range, the values should be in the ascending order. And the second condition is you can't use the overlapping case values, or which is nothing but when you specify a range in a case value, you need to make sure that none of the other case values are matching with that range. So this is how you guys can use the range in the switch statements case values. Now here, for the example purpose, I have used the integer variable. This is same with the character variables also. For example, if I have the character, let's say C, and let me just save character A here. Now we will switch for the character C. Now here also we can specify the range. For example, I can say range from capital A to capital Z. So here I'm gonna say %C is between capital A and capital Z. Now we have the variable C, not the variable X. So here, we can have any other value. I can leave it like this. Now this program works because when we use the characters in the C program, the ASCII values of those characters are used. So here for the capital A, the ASCII value is 65 in decimal. So since the ASCII values are used, this program will work. Now if I save this program and if I build and run this, now you guys can see it says capital A is between capital A and Z. I can change this one to let's say M here, and if I build and run this again, you guys can see M is between A and Z. So here also rule is the same. You need to know about the ASCII values of the characters before using them like this, or before specifying characters as a range for the case values in the switch statement. You need to know about the ASCII values. You need to make sure that those ASCII values are in the ascending order, which is nothing but the lowest value of the range is less than the highest value of the range. And then also you need to make sure that none of the other case values are matching with the range which we have specified in the case value. So now I want to give you guys a simple exercise here. I want you guys to write a simple C program to check whether a character is an uppercase character or a lowercase character using the switch statement. So here I have already written half of the code here. You just need to change this one to make this one work for the lowercase characters also. So I want you guys to write that program, and then you can write that code in the comment box. I'm gonna check that out, and if you get any error, I will help you with that. And if you like this video, hit the like button. If you don't like it, then hit the dislike button. If you want to watch more tutorials, then do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll also make a video about writing a simple C program to check for whether a character is an uppercase character or the lowercase character using this method. So thank you for watching once again. I'll see you later in the next video.